An active shooter event is a horrifying situation. One can become paralyzed by fear at the very thought of it. How does one begin to understand the phenomenon of such events? What can one expect if an active shooter event happens to him?
Hi guys, Uncle B here. So on this channel we talk about things that you can do to be mentally and physically fit and prepared, strong and tough to deal with the challenges of life. Please subscribe by clicking on the icon in the lower right hand corner of your screen that says Top Secret, or go down below the screen and click subscribe. And make sure you click that bell too so that you get a notification of every time a new video is posted so you don't miss any valuable information. Understanding active shooter events. I wrote this booklet in 2013 and it's available at Amazon and Kindle. So you can get a Kindle version or you can get the hard copy, and it's relatively inexpensive, so please check it out.
So imagine that you're walking in the mall, shopping, minding your own business, or perhaps you are in the baggage claim area where there is no security controls in an airport. Or maybe you're even at school, in your high school, in your grade school, in your college, and then, as if out of nowhere,
That's right. Chaos, pandemonium. You see, with an active shooter, the goal is chaos because that's where he thrives. He gets a thrill and a power from creating the chaos because he's the only one that has the power of life and death in his hands. And the more chaos that there is, the more free he is to wreak havoc on his victims. So you have mass panic going on. And it's key to understand that when you find yourself in a situation like a violent encounter, especially one that is an active shooter or terrorist incident, you are going to find that there's going to be a lot of chaos, and you have to try to process the information you're being given. A lot of times you're going to hear shots and you're not going to know where they come from. So that adds to your confusion. You're going to see people panicking and running and screaming, and you're going to wonder what's going on, why it's happening, and perhaps the solution for you will be to join that crowd and run to wherever you think safety is. The key and important thing in this is to process the information as best you can and make the best decision. Part of doing that is understanding that it's going to be hard to process information and make right decisions because it is a chaotic environment. Remember that in buildings, especially hallways, gunshots echo. And therefore, if you think you're running away from the gunfire, you could possibly be running into it. In addition to that, you have to remember that if you're in a screaming, running crowd, the shooter will be attracted to that as well. Because after all, they're running away from him shooting. So if you go with the crowd, the potential could be there that you are creating a bigger danger for yourself than if you did not go with the crowd, but found your own cover, your own place to hide, your own place to fight if need be. It's important to realize the potential for these types of attacks. When you're in a mall, for example, or any place else in which there are multiple levels and then openings in the floor like balconies, or a double level mall which has openings that you can look down on the first floor, these are potential places from which a shooter can fire down into a crowd. And obviously, he who has the high ground has the advantage. So be conscious of that. And so when you come to openings like that, or you have things in the structure that are as if it were an elevated position, just be cognizant of that and be observant of what is around you. Be observant of those and always look up and see what's going on. Not just right in front of you and not maybe to the sides of you, but also up. It's going to be really hard for you to process all the information at once. So the important thing in an active shooter or a terrorist attack is to understand that there can be threats and potential threats in your area, and that there are always ways out of that area. There are always exits from that area and places to take cover so that you can protect yourself from flying bullets and shrapnel. The important thing to remember is that you want to be able to war game this prior to an incident happening, so that if an incident were to happen, you would not have to process all the information and then make a decision. You will have, in essence, made the decision prior to anything happening. Or at least you have the options, and you can walk down that list in your mind according to the information that you are receiving and the best solution for that information. Obviously, if you are in a mall or in a store, probably one of the safest places you can be is going to be in a sporting goods store, especially if they sell firearms in that store. The likelihood of an active shooter going into a sporting goods store that sells firearms is very small. Another important factor is know your exits, and every mall has secret corridors behind each store that you can use to escape. I ask that you like or dislike this video. Please leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Any engagement is greatly appreciated.